So the way we do this is you simply go back to your vertex mode, click on this guy over here. You're just going to move it up 10 times. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And over here, I'm going to bring it to the left 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, if you go into your front view and do the Z, you go into wireframe, you're just going to zoom out like this. Again, getting rid of those increments and just move it to the left, 1 and then 2, like this, okay? Going to go back to your right view and going to press Z. So you can see how we shove that in over here. So this gives us these two vertices over here. Go ahead and just simply select both of them like this, turn like this, and you're going to just zoom out like this. You're going to do the same thing, 1, 2, over here, and then W, and then smooth 1 time. Now if I go back to my wireframe mode, out of my wireframe mode over here, you can see that what we're getting is this area over here. So now what we're going to do is we have to let go of this feature over here, the snapping tool. Okay, this is where we're now just going to do a little bit of organic movement. Okay, so all you have to do is simply just click on this and now move with your middle mouse button, rotate it kind of like this. Okay, and then just press this red guy over here and just bring him in a little bit. So you're going to get this vertex over here, just going to bring it in a little bit, okay, just to open it up. Okay, so we got everything settled in, and here I'm just going to do shift and middle mouse button. Now you're going to click on the faces. Now you have to get these two faces over here, A to extrude, and you're going to do W smooth 1 and then 2. We are going to do this is because we need to just define this area over here a little more clearly. So now what this does is that simply opens this area up. So if you select on this one and this one, these two guys over here, if you do Control A, it will create this shape over here, right? Smooth it out so it's not that sharp. So this allows us to now go into our right view over here. Now we can click on the edges and we can just simply select this edge over here. Okay, now we can move it in a little bit over here and then just grab this one, go to your right view and just G, right? So now what we're doing is simply just controlling this curve over here. So allow us to do this, okay? Next, what I'm going to do is go ahead and go back to my face mode. We're going to come back to this area in a second. Now we're going to go ahead and click on this one, this one, this one. We're going to do E to extrude. We're going to do W smooth 1 and then 2 times. Go ahead and click on these two, do Control A to rotate it. And now we're going to switch back to use vertex mode. Go ahead and click on this one, shift key down, this, oops, got rid of this one. Okay, actually before we do that, we're going to we need to do another technique over here. So here I'm going to show you another feature of Blender. I'm going to do A to select, A to deselect everything. So over here, if you look, there's this option called knife, and you can see that the shortcut key is K. Now, this option doesn't seem to exist in anywhere here in the menus. It just seems to be over here. But just note that that's what that shortcut key is. So if you press K for knife, you can actually select on this vertex over here with the left mouse button, then move your mouse and then latch onto this one and left click this one and then do space bar. So what it does, it just cuts your object or really allows you to create the topology for your object like this. Then just know that the only reason I was able to click those two vertices is because it's actually selecting this over here, right? It doesn't care about the subdivision. So if you're using a knife tool and you're somewhere here and you're not able to select something over here, it's because you have to turn this off to get to that. Okay, just want you to be aware of this. That's the only reason it just happened to seem that it was working that way. So anyways, we're going to now click on the edge tool, click on this edge. Now, one thing you can do is you can click on X and you can actually do a dissolve edge. And this will now simply leave this quad over here. Now, the reason we are doing this way is now we can go back over here, click on this one, this, click on all these over here, go to your front view and just come in just a little bit. Don't do it too much, just like this, okay? Going to go to your right view. Now I'm going to go ahead and just simply move some of these in a little bit more, right? I moved that to the right. Let me actually undo that. So here I move this to the right like this, and I'm going to move it to down a little bit more. And this one, I'm going to move it just a little bit to the right. And then this one a little bit to the right. And this one a little bit to the right over here. This one a little bit more up over here. Okay, so now we're going to go back to face mode, to front view, and now over here, we can simply just bring it in a little bit more over here. Go to your right view. Go ahead and just move these up a bit more to give it a little more watch, right? And this will simply just sets it up. So now this gives us the opportunity to select this. And now I'm going to just move this down kind of like this and move this down a little bit more. Okay, so if I do tab, you can see what I'm doing is simply creating this wedge over here for this ear. Okay. And then lastly, we can now click on this. Go ahead and click this one, and we're going to do E to extrude, Control Z that. We're going to actually E to extrude this one. Okay, we're going to do W and then smooth it one time like this. A to deselect, and then I'm going to do E to extrude this one, W smooth 1 2 times like this. Now the reason I did it is it's because here it's just allowing me to get access to these vertices over here. Okay, so we're now going to click on these two guys, and we're going to do A like this. Okay, so now if I click on this, if I do middle mouse button, you can see that what it does, it allows us to actually punch in some of these vertices. So if I rotate this one over here and just press G to move, and over here, G to move this over here, and G to move it, you can see that what it allows me to do is if you go into a right view, it just allows us to create that little bit of texture over here, right? And that's all. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is simply move this curvature over here. So I'm just going to right click this. Now if you right click and just move your mouse, right, so having the mouse clicking on the vertex and moving, it just goes into the automatic move mode right over here like that. Or you can press the G key. So I'm just going to move it just a little bit over here, not too much, to create that. Now going to your face select mode, go back to your snapping, A to select, A to deselect. I'm just going to move this in 1 2 3. Going to move it in 1 over here. Okay, so now lastly we're going to go into the front view. Go ahead and click on these two, and we need to nudge this in 1 2 3 over here to give it a little curve. We're just going to do 4 over here, and then lastly I'm going to click on this, get rid of the snapping, and then click on this guy over here, and I'm just going to look at it from this 3/4 view over here. I'm just going to nudge it in just ever so slightly like this, okay, to the front view. You can see that we get this little nudge over here. And now what we've done is successfully define the ear over here. And at any time, you can come in here, and remember, you can move these over here if you want to expand this a little bit, okay? I'm just going to expand this one just a little bit over here, like so. And that's done, right? So here I've showed you how you can use this idea of extrusion to create complex shapes by approaching this concept of the ear with this formula-based system in basic shapes, right? So this is a technique that I just wanted to show you, that how you can now use this technique to not only use the snapping feature of Blender, but also let go of that snapping feature to create a much more organic looking object once you have the model out, right? So in the year, when we created it using the formula based system, it uses the snapping and it doesn't use the snapping. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and shift the middle mouse button. We're going to actually have to make an adjustment over here, because now we're concentrating on this area of the side of the face. So do K for knife tool. You're going to get this one over here, left click, and then click on this one, then do middle mouse button. The reason I'm doing this is because you can see that we're getting the star shape over here. So we're going to remove a little bit of the star shape by clicking this now, X and dissolve edges. Click on this one, X and dissolve edges over here. So you can see that it just makes it a little better. Okay. So now, If you do tab in front view, you can see that we have the year, and you can now look at it from all these different directions. So lastly, before we move on to the next lesson, I'm just going to show you that we can simply click on this and click on rendered mode. Remember, I'm in the cycles render. You can see that we can now start to see how it would look in rendered mode. So here's the lamp that we turned off. Now I'm going to turn this on. So you can see that when you turn on the lamp in cycles render, you're going to start to see some weird artifacts coming. See, that's not correct. You can see these edges coming. So the reason this is happening is because the cycles renderer works a little differently. It doesn't want to use the lamp. So if I click on this lamp and click on the light over here, you can see that it's a point light over here and it's saying use nodes. Okay, so what we want to do is just turn this off over here, and we're going to go back into solid view. I'm going to do Shift C, and this will simply recenter the 3D cursor. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, shift it down here. So here we're going to add a light so the cycles renderer can use it, and we can start to see all the work that we're doing, how it's paying off. So I'm going to do Shift A. I'm going to go, and it's going to bring up this menu. You're going to click on plane over here. Okay. Now simply move this plane up over here. Actually, let me undo that. Let's go stick to the transformation over here and zoom out over here. I'm just going to move it up one time, and actually let's move it 2 times up and go to your right view. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over here. I'm going to now rotate this at 45 degrees in the minus sign. Okay, and go back to your front view and just scale this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to leave it at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, around 15. I'm going to move it now to the left, 1, 2, and then 3. And then from your top view, you can now click on rotate and just do 45 like this, right? So if I go to my front view, you can see what we're doing is just creating this big piece of geometry. Reason we are doing this is because we're going to create this as a light source. So in cycles render, this is what you have to do to start using this. So over here, having made sure that this plane is selected, here I'm going to go into my materials tab. I'm going to click on new, and I'm just going to call this my light. Okay, my light over here for now. Then click over here in the surface, and you're going to make sure that this is set on emissions. Okay, and you're going to see that the strength is set on 1. So now let's go ahead and just zoom in over here, go and switch back to rendered mode, and now you'll see how the cycles render is working. If I do 1, you can see that we can see now all the soft shadows over here. Okay, so you can use this to analyze the work that you're doing on your 3D object over here. Now go back to your front view. Now you can see that when we do render, we're seeing this guy over here. So making sure that you're still selected on this. If you go under this tab over here, go all the way down, you'll see that it says cycle settings. Just going to bring that up. You can tell it to not show in the camera view, and it'll just get rid of it. Okay. Now, the other thing that I do want to show you, if you go into solid mode, and if you go into your top view by pressing 7, you can simply right click this and shift D to duplicate this over here. Okay. And I'm just going to pluck it in somewhere over here. Okay. And now just go ahead and rotate this, and now just rotate it like this to give us the backlight. Okay. And in the backlight, if you look at this one, it's basically now, let's just double click this and type in light over here. Now double click this one. I'm going to call it light and then back. Okay. And now if you go back to the materials, you can see that they're both using the same light. So if I, the material is light, which is emissions. So if I increase this, actually let's decrease this to 8.8. Okay. Click over here. You can see that they're both changing. Okay, so to fix this, you actually have to create another one. You're going to do new, and you're going to call this light back. back over here, right? So this guy, if I click on, make sure this is selected, click on this light and then remove it from here, he's going to have light back. I'm going to make sure that this is emissions over here. I'm going to do 0.8 over here. I'm going to go to light over here, and this should be 1. Okay, so if we switch back, look at this over here, you're getting 2 different emissions and you can control the light. So for this one, make sure that you click on this and yep, that's off. So now if I zoom in and let's go ahead and look at rendered, you can see that we can now get some light in the back and start to look at this object in this way. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like this over here. Okay, so I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks.